Do you smell that? The fresh scent of more I told you so's emanating throughout the air, and I'm sniffing more every moment. I told you guys it's the summer that the Bitcoin all-time high price would be December 23rd, 2020. I said that date itself wasn't super important, but the Bitcoin would hit all-time highs within a week of that date. And here we are, December 16th, hitting all-time highs, exactly 7 days before my prediction. You pretty much don't get more dead on than that. Now that I got your attention, find out today what's next for Bitcoin and when you can look for huge price movement. Let's get it. BitSwap is the hottest new way to trade tokens. Crawling all the top decentralized exchanges, BitSwap gets you the very best price and value for your trades. BitSwap is changing the game. Try it now at bitswapdex.io. Welcome to BitBoy Crypto. My name is Ben. Every day on this channel, I show you how to make money in cryptocurrency. If you like money in crypto, make sure to hit that subscribe button. Also, guys, make sure you check out our collection on Rarible.com by visiting nft.bitboy.live. We just created a special holiday card featuring Santa getting shoved in a chimney by BitBoy. We want you guys to get plugged into the NFT world on Rarible, so here's what we're going to do. We are going to airdrop all 100 of these cards to the first 100 Ethereum addresses that drop a comment below, including their ERC20 address. These cannot be Coinbase or Binance addresses. Please keep that in mind. We also reserve the right to pick whatever 100 addresses we see first. So if you feel like you were in the first 100 and didn't get one, we apologize. We can only go off of what our comment feed says. Now, in this video, we are going to be discussing Bitcoin hitting new all-time highs officially and important dates you should be looking at going forward. Right now, Bitcoin looks to close at all-time highs today, unless, of course, there's an epic sell-off, which could happen. But where do we go from here, though? $20,000 was such an incredibly important psychological barrier that now that it's gone, it's hard to know what's really next. As of right now, Bitcoin is sitting at $20,700 and looking to climb. I expect the daily close to be somewhere in between $20,500 and $21,500. Now, if you watched our big video from last week where we sold all of our Ethereum for Bitcoin, you know that we were anticipating this move. And we definitely got the better of this trade, being up almost 30 Ethereum extra just for trading with a couple clicks. But we aren't done yet, as I anticipate Bitcoin heading to above $23,000 soon, and when that happens, we will trade back over to ETH. If we were to track all of my major Bitcoin predictions for this year, you would see that they were all correct. First, I said for Bitcoin to be bullish and to track along with the previous Bitcoin cycles, it only needed to be above $8,500 by the time of the halving. On May 11th, the day of the halving, it was at $8,900. I told you guys the most bullish time for Bitcoin this year would be November, following the election, and your last best chance to get in on Bitcoin would be November the 2nd, the day before the election. It was at $13,700 the day before the election. By the end of the month, it would get above $19,000. But I did warn you guys that there would be an epic fall at the end of November, and surprise! I nailed that one too. The price would drop 17% all the way down to $16,200 following Thanksgiving. For months, I've told you Bitcoin would hit all-time highs, give or take a week, from December 23rd. And lo and behold, on December 16th, 7 days, aka 1 week before December 23rd, we hit all-time highs as Bitcoin steadily holding above 20K. Woo! So now, we had to find out what Bitcoin's key resistance levels will be and when we will be challenging those numbers. You have to understand that right now, Bitcoin is in price discovery. This is a time period in which there are basically no resistance lines. We haven't been above 20K yet, so we don't know where we will have trouble. But we can draw some conclusions here based upon human psychology. You can imagine some key numbers would be $50,000, $75,000, $100,000, $200,000, $300,000, etc. Since I basically have not been wrong yet in my key Bitcoin predictions, why stop now? I do believe there is certainly room for Bitcoin to run all the way up to $400,000. Seems kind of almost a given with all this extreme bullishness revolving around institutions and PayPal and other companies grabbing up Bitcoin everywhere. But I had to keep a level head. A gigantic, oversized level head. My official prediction for Bitcoin is $225,000, and I'm going to stick with it. I think it is not only conservative, but realistic. At some point, FOMO has to end. We already know that I believe the Bitcoin price will top out on September 28, 2021. I've given you guys that date hundreds of times on this channel, maybe more like 10, but it seems like a lot. So the best way for us to figure out Bitcoin's moves going forward is to examine Bitcoin's movements in 2017. Bitcoin basically had 4 legs on its way from new all-time highs to the $20,000 peak in December of 2017. We'll be examining all 4 of them and how they relate to this current bull run. First, we have the run between March 25th to June 17th. This saw a 232% increase for Bitcoin as it ran past its previous all-time highs and settled around $3,000. So 3 months for basically a 2.5x, not bad. So let's do some math based on 20K, and guess what 20K times 2.5 is? That's right, the first eyesore of resistance, $50,000. We should be looking at a 50K Bitcoin by the middle of March 2021. I also expect a big rejection there, as many people will be thinking that 50K is the top of the bull run. Going to be a lot of surprised faces when they sell off there and see what it does next. The second leg of the bull run of 2017 saw Bitcoin go from $1,800 to $5K, following a rejection all the way to the new resistance. This was a 172% increase for Bitcoin during this time. Consisted of a few big pumps and some sideways action, but this lasted about a month and a half from July 16th to September 2nd. This was when a lot of people started paying attention to Bitcoin in 2017. Now, if we were to apply that to our model for 2021, that would mean to expect about a 1 month of red between leg 1 and leg 2. So near the middle of April, tax time of course, we should see this run begin. After a retracement from 50K to 40K or so, Bitcoin should head up to another key level of about $75,000 around the beginning of June, then consolidate and head toward the key level, $100,000 soon, during the third of the 4 legs up. Now, as we move back towards the 2017 chart, we start to look at the run from the middle of September to the end of the first week of November, as Bitcoin saw a 162% gain. By the middle of this June to July, we should start seeing Bitcoin head up finally over $100,000, maybe even to $125K, before a sharp rejection back slightly under the $100,000 level. Now, once we get here, you know we are nearing the end of this bull run. This should be around the end of summer sometime. But the numbers won't be done yet. You have to remember, and this is hugely key, it is easy to look back at the bull run from 2017 and see when everybody should have gotten out, the top of the market. But timing it while you're in the middle of it is quite difficult. Why? Well, number 1, emotions. But number 2, Bitcoin's most wild and volatile action is going to be right before the price crashes. So once we get above 100K, you should be looking for violent moves upwards and planning exit points. So let's jump into the last of 4 legs we will be expecting. Looking at the last bull run, you will see that the price basically 2.5x'd in the last month of the run-up, going from $5,800 to almost 20K in 1 month. So during the final weeks of August 2021, we will be looking for that last parabolic move to the high place before our descent back into the bear valley. This means Bitcoin should be hitting 6 figures sometime in the late summer. I would say August 1st or so, we should be seeing Bitcoin hit $100,000, followed by a rejection, only to see it back over 100K by the end of August. And then it will hit 225K on September 28th, 2021. Now, if Bitcoin were to be mega bullish by that time and already cleared 100K, then it could easily go from 200K to 400K by the end of September. So the last key date we need to be on the lookout for is August 28th, which is also known as my wife's birthday. We may be watching Bitcoin by candlelight that night. By we, I mean me, all by myself in the doghouse. But let's be clear about important dates and my predictions for these dates. March 15th, 2021, Bitcoin hits $50,000. June 10th, 2021, Bitcoin hits $75,000. August 1st, 2021, Bitcoin hits 100K. September 28th, 2021, Bitcoin hits $225,000. As you guys know, I'm a 97 on guts, so I don't mind putting out exact dates and exact predictions. It's worked out so far. No need to switch it up. But let me know what you believe are some key numbers and key dates for Bitcoin by dropping a comment down below. That's all I got. Be blessed. Bitboy out.